What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to do a hard open here because we are recording on 9/11, 2018. So we are officially 17 years later. We're dedicating the show to that, obviously, to all the victims, the surviving family members.
First responders.
Everyone, obviously, we're at the age where it affected us the most. Sadly, the new generation's grown up a little more. They kind of deal with this on a daily basis. We were kind of the first, and it sucked, and we had to grow up like this. And, I tell people, I coach kids that are at 18, so they were 1, maybe not even born yet at the time. They really don't understand how big like we were talking about on the other show, what a shift the world made from we're safe, it's old timey to, we're on red alert. We had colors now to define our country. We went to a war that no one really understands or
Never
understood.
ended.
And it's just the world changed on 9/11. And I think it's an understatement when people this young generation is like, well, that happened. I'm like, no, it really did change the modern world as much as a war could have, because it involved a war. It's a war, attack. It's, it is big like that.
It's defined the world to this point. It's
really
literally the
has,
defining moment of
it feels so fresh still 17 years later. And that's what's crazy, how fresh it feels still when you see the videos and you see the, everyone talk about it. You're like, man, that just happened. But it was 17 years ago.
And I think one thing that I've learned this time around, or at least I've noticed this last 2 years specifically, is a lot of the conspiracy theories have kind of gone away. I feel like this has definitely become much more of a okay, we
that was a way to cope, I feel.
Yeah, for the longest time.
To be like, no, it had to be this, and then you realize maybe it was that, or maybe the world's just a very messed up place.
And we became much more open as the years have gone on, and as we've seen not just the political landscape, but just the social landscape, everything, we're like, anything is possible. So it's like, you know what? Truth is stranger than fiction. So the truth of it just being that way.
It's amazing how openly politics are talked about compared to that. And I don't think that's bad. I think it is something that, we talk about stupid stuff. We should talk about important things.
Sure.
But it's amazing that it almost was socially different back then. We were raised to be like, well, you don't do that in front of people. You don't do it. Nowadays, it's dinner conversation of no, Dad, you're stupid. How could you? It's amazing how much it changed. So obviously, we're dedicating the show to that. Like the WWE, like the Yankees, like sports or back then. We're going to do our best to keep going. But 17 years still feels fresh. And I think
Do you remember where you were?
It's wrong to not just... I remember the whole day.
Same
we were
here.
at school. We finished school. We didn't get picked up early. Our dad had to go to work, and our dad's a truck driver, and that was very scary times because they put a list out on Fox these are the high alert places, and trucks were one of them. And we all slept together, and we had burgers and milkshakes. And
so do you remember how old you were? 8 when this happened. 9. You were 9 when this happened because I was 11 in 2011. So from what I remember is basically everything like that. I remember going to our Welana Willow's house, having spaghetti at their basement because that's where they were cooking. I remember going downstairs and everybody was at the TV.
You remember lunch, you remember dinner, you remember your dessert, you remember watching TV together, and you were just...
We thought the world was ending.
We didn't know what was going to happen. Yeah. People, it's not like it was I'll be honest, social media wasn't that big, and it's a big deal. You can go on Twitter and know what happened. The internet wasn't a big thing. It wasn't like that, and it just wasn't 17 years ago. And we really were. It wasn't even fear. I think it was more not fear for attack, fear of the unknown of what, like, do we go to bed? Like, if we wake up tomorrow, what happens? Are we going to wake up to another attack?
Yeah.
How are we supposed to live on? And I think that's what, after a few days, you're just like, we got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can't just, like, this is new to our country, but as, like, it happened, you got to keep living life, and the world's got to keep moving.
And, you know, the first public event that happened was a SmackDown taping of WWE. The Yankees and the Mets and everybody kind of got back together. That was the famous World Series later on that October of the Diamondbacks and the Yankees.
You'll be lying to say if it didn't bring the country closer together.
It did bring the country closer together.
You'll be lying to say, like, for those few weeks, like...
I would say that for a good year.
You know, there wasn't no... You know, you watched out for each other. You started watching out more for your neighbor. Then it turned again. And I don't know when it turned. I think once we start talking about invading.
Once Afghanistan really came together.
Then we're like, okay, well, now we have to. Now that we've mourned, what are we gonna do? Are we getting revenge? Well, are those even the right people? And it's a whole different topic.
Here's the funny thing too is, like, you bring up Afghanistan, like that's obviously kind of where the dividing, just like anything, war divides a nation. But what for me, the one image that sticks to my mind the most. And I don't know at this point, and it's funny because we're bringing up memories. If you've checked out the Murder Mysteries and More episode, we actually talked a little bit about this, but I don't know if it's an actual memory or if it's just years of watching it and think about it. And the memory that always sticks to me is not even just on that day. Obviously, everything about that day does, but it was like 2 or 3 months later, and obviously it was always still breaking news, was still doing, and the fact that dust of smoke still was there. It's like that cloud of smoke never quite went away for the longest of time.
See, I feel like that's a memory you put in your head.
Yeah.
Because you saw the image.
And it just stuck with me forever. Like, it took forever. Like, I don't know.
It's like you said, sometimes the story's a little more, sometimes it's more just like, no, it's real. Like, hey, it happened. And days went on and we moved on and dust did settle. And I know it didn't settle inside of us, but into the rest of the world, that's how life works. Like, the world keeps moving no matter what we feel. No matter what in my head we feel like, the world's going to keep going.
It did shut down, though. Like, I do remember, even at 11. At 11, you do remember things. Like, even at 9, you remember things. Like, I remember the world did shut down. Like, for like a good day and a half, 2 days. Like, we shut down.
And I think in our memory, we think it was months or weeks. Yeah. And it was really a day almost. Yeah. After 24 hours, I remember the next night them making a speech of, like, Bush went out saying, we need to go on. Like, you know, this happened. We must resume our lives. And like you said, SmackDown 2 nights later, the Yankees. Like, life did go on.
Football.
And the rubble wasn't even clear. Like, they were working on it while this was going on. And that's okay to do. I think that's what we learned throughout the years. Is like, it's okay to mourn. It's okay to do that. But we do need to band together and keep living our lives, or else the terrorists do win. Yeah. And I think we all agreed on that. Was like, the terrorists win if we stop. If we just stop living, they've won. They beat us. We must move on.
And isn't it amazing, and we're not going to get political, but isn't it amazing how in September 11, 2001, and then September 12 moving forward, for the longest time, the world was confusing. We had no idea what we were doing, at least, especially at our young age. Like, we were watching the eyes as children, and we can see the confusion.
We were powerless.
But here's what tweaks me out. It's like, looking back at it now, it almost seems like a simpler time. It almost seemed like
I said, people.
That was the beginning of a war.
Look at today on social media. Just social media today. No one's talking about divide. No one's talking about Trump. No one's talking about Kaepernick. No one's talking about, because it's always that sad truth of life. We're like in a family. What brings a family closer together?
Death. Yeah.
What brought this close? Like, the only time our country's ever together is 4th of July and freaking 9/11 memorial.
Yeah.
And then for a whole day, it's like a truce of, like, you know what? Today we don't got the energy for it. We're remembering people. This was a time.
It literally felt like that, yeah.
It's so crazy to think, like, that was a simpler time that morning.
Yeah.
Before, as soon as that plane hits, the world changes. And obviously, United States, we're not the center of attention, but we are, to an extent, a big leader in the world. Obviously, we're not. I'm not going to lie here and say we're not the United States. So the world did stop for 24 hours.
If Big Ben explodes tomorrow morning, do you think the world? Yeah,
like we're not being to our across the pond listeners. It's not us being full of ourselves. It's we're one of the big countries.
I think universally, people would say, like, and obviously we don't know because of that perspective, but like I think.
I mean, the Paris attacks,
that's what I'm saying. Like
that did shut down the world did shut down for almost. Yeah, obviously we've gotten more used to it.
The London bombings.
We can turn around faster now.
Yeah,
I think
we have to turn around
now.
Faster
We have to now. It's like, okay, you have 2 hours. we need to keep going. Like stocks need to stay up, business.
Yeah.
We need to be able to move on.
It's much more of a machine now.
It's different, but obviously that's our thing. We're never gonna go in 9/11 not talking about it because you have to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It happened, people.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
It's not political.
Doesn't matter who's in the White House.
We will remember. Yeah. Like it's as
never
corny
get,
as the saying was.
Yeah, it never.
And I think maybe some of the generation doesn't get it because
totally.
they haven't felt that way. Because no matter what happens, if it's a shooting at a gay nightclub, or Vegas, well, how did it happen? Yeah. Back then, it wasn't that. That wasn't the point. The point was we're together as a country. Yeah. We will watch each other. We will raise our flags.
It really was us.
So we're never not going to do that on 9/11. Mm-hmm. So we need everyone just needs to accept it. And you know what? Patriotism is important, I think.
I think that's eloquent, and I think that's well said. I think sometimes as some of the elder statesmen of the young generation, we have to remember to just like we didn't understand the magnitude of Pearl Harbor. We knew how big it was, but we didn't know. For any of our younger listeners, let me just put it to you this way. It literally was life-changing, and not in a cliche. It was the world was one way, and the next day, it literally was, for our pop culture listeners, like Thanos snapped his fingers and something happened. And that's what happened, is that morning, after essentially 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, when everything was settled, the world changed forever. A war happened, another war happened, policies changed, politics changed, and quite frankly, the way a generation was raised changed. And I think what's wonderful that Alex brought up, and I think it's the perfect way to get into the show, is we will always acknowledge, remember, and show our support, love, and our true feelings on this day, because it not only was a country-defining moment, it was a life-defining moment. And like Alex said on one of our past shows, we were of an age where we couldn't do anything about it. And sometimes I think that's a blessing,
it's
personally.
Hard. Like you see it happening, you're completely aware of what's happening.
But you can't do anything.
But there is absolutely, the decisions are being made for you.
Yep.
You didn't get to choose to go to war. They're saying, listen, by the time you're old enough, you'll be able to go into this war, but we're not going to let you decide if it's worth going into. And guess what?
It's not even the same anymore.
Credit to the younger generation. They inherited this, man. They didn't ask for this. This is the world that we had to hand them.
They were born in this world.
Can you imagine? Do you remember times at the airport where it was different? Honestly, the airport was so different back then.
Watch the videos of those terrorists going to.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Unbelievable. It is
so different.
But here's the interesting too, and we'll go off the subject. And I think in general, we just want to send our love and prayers and thank you to everybody.
We're not going to apologize for it being 9/11. Us talking about it.
Yeah, no. It's interesting though. A little bit more satire talk about it. It's funny though when you watch international air flights, how down pat they have it. Because terrorism was part of their lives for so long,
or drugs
and everything
here,
it's like they don't care. It's
we were blessed to have to wait till 2001.
Yeah,
to be like, oh no, we have to do it too.
Yeah,
because everywhere else they were like, well, we've been.
But it's a a lot of stars and a lot of personalities talk about how international traveling is a lot easier at their airports because it's a much more loose, easy machine because they've just been doing it so much longer for their BS. While us, it's not only just a monopoly thing because how many airports and airlines are there?
There's just too many for us to really train properly sometimes.
And the quality is not all there.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation more of satire about the airline company. But Alex, you said it perfectly. We're never going to apologize for talking about it.
You, Mark. Well, we'll get to some other. We'll get to more fun stuff because I watched a lot of TV.
Yeah. So I'm going to give. This is me taking the reins. And I just threw him across the studio.
I caught him one-handed.
Yeah, of course you did. Okay, Odell. Show's yours, Alex. Why don't you lead us and tell us what we can do? But before you do that, let's make sure everybody knows that they can follow us everywhere in the universe. He's on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. I'm at Mercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. He's on Instagram at Mercado2121. I'm at Mike Mercado2333. If you're interested, follow Nicole everywhere at Typing When Tipsy. And of course,
I don't know who she is.
We're on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And of course, anywhere you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. Let's do this, good brother.
All right, so we're kind of refurbishing our show here where, we always figure we go into tangents and we're going to give those tangents homes now. So we're going to be a little more topic oriented. So if you're listening to our show, you kind of listen to us babble about random things at random times. Well, we're going to start at least telling you what that random stuff is. So let's say you don't want to hear us talk about 9/11. Well, we're going to have a number that says jump to this, and we're going to start talking about our obvious number one is movies, because that's what kind of started us off on this. Mike, we are almost at our 1-year anniversary. Do you remember Halloween?
Oh my God,
we
yeah.
are very close.
Wow.
I thought about saying because Halloween's coming out, and
Yeah.
obviously we're going to talk movie topics, TV topics, news, Mike's specialty sports, music even. We're going to talk about everything, and we're going to start telling you when we're talking about it. So if you want to just listen to us talk about music, and we can start getting a feel of what people really are interested in.
Bohemian Rhapsody is a good way.
Because sometimes, guess what? Sometimes it's a slow movie week. Doesn't mean it's a slow movie or TV week. So music,
Sports
movies.
week.
So we're going to start off with movies, and obviously what we're doing this week is Predators coming out this week. It's going to be terrible. And TIFF. So we use that TIFF, and for those of you who don't know, it's the Toronto Film Festival. And it's just basically, I found a fun fact that out of the, I believe, last 15 years, only 2 movies have not gone to TIFF and won Best Picture. Birdman, Zero Dark 30.
Okay. Those
Only
are
2 movies that did not appear at TIFF and still won. So every other movie that's come out or nominated has been at TIFF. So TIFF is very important. So when people, I know there's some snob that says TIFF is just a snob. I'm like, no, this realistically is the Oscar movie. So you have...
So TIFF is bigger than Sundance.
TIFF is a little bit. Because problem with Sundance and La La Land was the example. And obviously this is where I start nerding out because I get into this stuff.
Yeah.
La La Land peaked so early.
Interesting.
And that's the problem. And that's why they're trying to drag it out a little.
Yeah.
That they're starting to rumor that maybe First Man's going to be like that. I personally think, like, we can start talking about now. So reviews have started coming out for some of these movies. And, we're getting some First Man love. I think Ryan Gosling finally is going to get his win.
It looks like it.
I think he will.
It looks like it.
I think Barry Jenkins might get another Oscar for his Beale Street movie, which looks beautiful. I think Steve Carell might get something.
I was going to say Beautiful Boy might be the sleeper.
Obviously, Lady Gaga is hands down the heaviest favorite this year in any category.
And what's this
Lady Gaga is the only one. I will put $1 million down. She's winning Best Actress. This is her year. No one's competing.
There's some rumbling going around that Bradley Cooper steals the show too.
No, I agree. On that. I think his field's a little tougher with Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
That's why we're getting into it. Like, it's one of those, like, damn, but you do got
so right
McConaughey. But Lady Gaga, guys, is a for sure. She's gonna win Best Female. Yeah. Like, she is getting the ravest reviews. Like, she's a mirror. Like, that movie. That I'm so excited for Star Wars.
Does Meryl Streep have
Dude, it doesn't matter. That's how good Lady Gaga is. Lady Gaga's winning the Oscar, guys.
I agree.
She's winning the Oscar. Like, this is one of those no-brainers. Gary Oldman of last year.
I was
going
to say, yes.
Give him the award. Even Gary Oldman had to fight a little more for this.
Yeah.
This is hands down. If you're putting money, guys, Lady Gaga's winning. Let's see what else. Halloween. Halloween, a little more of a casual movie for more people, non-Oscar. Guys, it's getting 100% of our Rotten Tomatoes. People are saying they don't want to say better than the original, but as good as the original, which is saying a lot for one of the movies that created horror genre. So I'm pretty pumped about that. What about you? I know that's your movie too.
I mean, obviously, I love Carpenter's first Halloween. I love Rob Zombie's first Halloween as well. I love part ones of the Halloween. I even like, as a casual, fun, bullshit movie, I love the Halloween movies. Even Curse of Michael Myers and like those.
And what's funny, I think, like, a fun fact for the show is, like, talking about the year anniversary, I can honestly say Halloween's probably one of the big pushes to make us do a show was us talking about Halloween, being like, we should record this because Halloween's so important and there's so many nuances to it that people don't really understand how important of a movie it is to cinema.
Just that.
Yet alone, just horror.
Right.
So it's amazing. And this movie's anything similar to that is so amazing to hear.
And it's funny because, like, you talk about how important it is to cinema, just like the dun, dun, dun. Like the music of just like the constant, the piano hitting it, and
it's so good.
And
so
that trailer. Let's a little deep into this trailer because I want to get you. We were texting back and forth about it. What I loved about it is that it's not necessarily a one shot, but picture a one shot of your mind of the little kid running into Michael Myers, Michael turning to his right, looking at the lady go into the house, and you follow Michael go into the garage, grab it, and attack her. That is such a subtle thing that Michael Myers does at his best, where it's not frantic. It's not in a hurry. It's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be almost soulless. And like there's a There's an aura to this
boogeyman
movie.
aspect to it.
Yeah, but there's certain feels you get about movies. Okay, you got it from It. You got it from A Quiet Place. You got it from Conjuring. You get it from little movies where you're like, not only is it gonna make money, but like there's something. Don't Breathe. Lights Out.
Special.
There's something special.
I'll call it now. This movie's gonna beat It. I think money wise, I think this movie's gonna make.
There's a crack 100 million.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna make a ridiculous amount of money.
Rob Zombie's, I
it's
think,
not
got
going
close
against
to that.
anything. So yeah, there's that. Sadly, people, I hate to be the one to say it. Like early reviews for Predators.
Do we have to?
People, yeah, because we owe the people. Like, guys, we're not gonna lie, we're not gonna watch it because it's not bad reviews. Kind of like Happy Time Murders, where it's like, go watch it, you appreciate it. This is like Fantastic Four reviews. This is like, guys, this is a terrible. This isn't Justice League.
But it's
bad.
Shane Black
That's
too.
But I think it's a studio. I hear the studio's a lot to blame. I love Shane Black personally. I think Iron Man 3 is one of the best MCU movies ever. I think it's completely underrated. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang's amazing. Shane Black himself is amazing. He's an amazing guy. But Predator doesn't work, and I'm going to say it now, people. It's because as good as Predator 1 was...
Arnold.
It's a B movie.
That has Arnold
It's a B
Schwarzenegger.
movie that has Arnold. And guess what, guys? You want to know what the second best Predator movie is? Predators. And no one liked it because it didn't have Arnold. So what we like can't be duplicated. So we have to live with that and be like, listen, that's member berries, y'all. Like, we liked Arnold. You didn't like The Predators, which was an actual good movie with good actors and a good story. But we didn't like it. I liked it, but most people didn't. So it's like, well, then you don't know what you want doesn't exist. You want part one. You want Arnold and a group of guys. You want the Expendables with Predator.
Yeah. You want to get to the chopper.
And guess what, guys? You didn't, because that's what they gave you, and you still didn't want it.
Well, I argue that they almost gave you what you wanted in Alien versus Predator, and people didn't want that.
Guess what? That movie made money because it was Alien versus Predator, just like Freddy versus Jason. Any movie like that's going to make money. You do Star Wars versus Star Trek, it can be garbage for 2 hours. It's going to make $1 billion.
So obviously anybody who listens to the show are probably fans of Honest Trailers. And Honest Trailers makes a great point about this, that what makes Predator great is the B-movie charm to it. But it's literally badass characters, the baddest of characters of them all in Arnold, with a legit scary creature, horror tropes, and awesome action scenes. Yeah. But like, guess you get that everywhere. You weren't getting all of that in the 1980s. We've seen literally copy-paste versions of Predator.
We have the MCU. I can see 20 movies about badass, strong, fighting, alien-looking dudes. We just saw it with Thanos. Why am I... We don't care anymore, and I hate it because it looked good.
Predator should have been a scary movie.
People were excited.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit and be like, it's the critics. People went into it very pumped. Even the most hardcore critics are like, this might be it. Like, because Shane Black is a very respected actor, and like, how about this? If you're not a Shane Black fan, I get that. But if you don't have respect for his work, you're not. This is the wrong podcast for you, I think. Because film, he is a great director. He has an amazing voice. And I'm telling you guys, Iron Man 3 is one of the unsung. It's better than Winter Soldier. It's better than Guardians. There's a reason it's the second highest grossing movie, not including the Avengers or Wakanda Forever, y'all. Black Panther. This is This is the 5th highest grossing movie. Like, that's crazy. Like, no one thinks about that because obviously we have so many. But that's our tirade on that. Plenty of movies coming out. Most of the ones that we thought were going to get reviews got good reviews. Widows got a really good review. So that one's that's the town, I believe, of this year where it has a town feel with amazing actors. Probably has the best cast. So we'll see how that one works out. I can't think of any more from Tiff at the moment.
I really think that First Man looks like it's the lead horse right now.
I think that might be the movie to win it all.
Yeah.
I think that's finally because that's going to be his remake from La La Land. I think that is.
Yeah.
I think if I had to guess, the girl from Beyoncé will get a Best Supporting Actress. The African American woman. I do not remember her name at the moment. It's very I can't remember it. I think Steve Carell gets his Best Supporting.
That's
finally.
the interesting one.
He's got a couple movies. I think Beautiful Boy. He looks good. Very relatable movie.
Beautiful Boy is getting a lot of love.
It's getting love. It's just a hard punch to the face, man. Like they didn't pull punches on these movies. Beautiful Boy is an addiction movie, and it's addiction. People like.
Well, isn't it funny though how we talked about it? I think maybe it was about 2 or 3 episodes ago where you know, you go through most of the year and you're like, yeah, you know, we know the Oscar movies are coming, but man, it's been a great year so far. It's going to be hard for a lot of movies to top them.
And now you're like, damn, 7 movies just came out.
Yeah.
You're like, well, maybe Black Panther won't. I still think Black Panther should get that one spot because I think we haven't seen 10 good movies, 10 great ones.
Yeah.
I think do the 10. Oh, we haven't really got to talk about it because obviously it came out this week.
Yeah.
No more popular Oscar. Oh,
Good.
that lasted
Yeah.
so long. Did we not just tell the people that wouldn't go through?
Alex,
we know everything.
sad.
Like kind of like we know everything.
Oh.
So I think Black Panther and Quiet Place get in there. I think they're going to finally just say, hey, we're doing 10 movies. Live with it. I agree. It should be 10 movies. It's not like actors. I think actors should be 5.
Sure.
I think that's perfect and that's great. I think realistically, that's realistic. I think it should be 10 movies. I think there's always 10 good enough movies where they should get love. And I don't think that's stretching. I think to leave a spot open is just obnoxious.
Sure.
When you do have movies that deserve it, like
Yeah.
Logan.
Yeah.
It did deserve. Like, why not? Baby
Yeah.
Driver even.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, if
Yeah.
we all agree we liked it, why not just give it a spot?
Because you don't want to.
So that's movies. Predator that's coming out. That's gonna suck. We got early previews next week because we're starting another big push.
Yeah.
These movies will be start coming out. A Star is Born, October 5th. I will be watching it. Probably have to take Nicole since me and Mike probably can't go to that movie together because it's inappropriate.
And I might cry.
Mike gets handsy, people.
Yeah, I do. Especially when I see Bradley Cooper on the
He
screen.
does get handsy with Bradley Cooper. I can't blame him either. All right, Mike, let's go talk something that you like.
Oh, no.
Sports. It was a big week with Serena. We both kind of agree on that. And obviously, football is back. My friends out there with fantasy, relax. It's week 1. Do not trade the team away. Don't destroy your phone.
So you're telling me I should come back from
You
the
should
ledge?
probably
Okay.
get off the ledge there,
Okay.
Mike. It's okay. If you went undefeated, it doesn't mean anything. If you lost both, it means nothing. Obviously, Matt Ryan will do better. These players are going to do better. So as long as your players are healthy, guys, you'll be fine. So, Mike, we talked about Serena a little bit, and I think we agreed. So I think, go ahead and state the opinion because I think you represent pretty much the show's opinion on the Serena Williams topic.
So in general, when it comes to Serena, yeah. She's the greatest to ever do it. One of the GOATs when it comes to sports in general.
Yeah.
Serena, just like LeBron, just like a lot of great players, has a tendency to complain a lot.
Be above the game almost.
Yeah.
Almost. Like, we're not saying a bad way.
Yeah.
She has earned it, but yes.
This is a piece of shit, what it seems like, from other athletes. This seems like this isn't the only thing. I would say my biggest issue with this whole Serena thing is that picture caricature that came out from that era, that Australian newspaper. That was despicable.
Disgusting.
That was disgusting. Specifically with her, I don't know if it has to do with race. I feel like tennis in general has kind of like golf with Tiger. Sometimes inadvertently or on purpose has kind of thrown random obstacles in front of them just because it's in the nature of some of these kind of organizations and just society in general. Yeah. But in this specific moment, she outshined, Osaka, I forgot what her name is.
That's the point. We don't know.
Oh.
We could be looking at the next Serena Williams. And
you know what? Just to be fair, because I think it's kind of bogus.
You can look it up because, like, for me, it's like, take someone like Stephen A. Smith, who's very pro-black community. Mm-hmm. Even if you have a man like that, and this is where I love him, and I don't think
Osaka.
I think he gets a lot of hate from some people that he only supports black athletes. He was very firm to say, listen, the problem is with this ump. This ump is giving fouls to he hates celebrities. He hates big players.
Yeah.
Whether it was Roger or whoever back in the day. He gives big penalties at big games to big stars. White, black, men, women. He's been known to do it. So he's the issue. And that got distracted. And I agree with him when he says the way Serena handled it was a hissy fit. It was.
Yeah.
And it's like, you did take the shine away, and you did do this, and you did spoil the victory, and you were wrong. You admitted that, maybe you weren't cheating, but your person was. Your coach was, admitted she did a sign.
Yeah.
And you did yell, and you did break your racket. And I don't get where people, that's why I always tell you, and we tell everyone, our listeners, do the facts, do the research. Yeah. Guys, he's given this penalty to white males. It's not just her. Like, he's not doing big games. It's just, guess what? Serena Williams is the biggest tennis star
and we're looking for it now.
Now we are.
We're looking for it.
Because it's Serena Williams, and she's a black woman.
Yeah.
But that's not the point of the story. And I think that became the point because the cartoon, because ignorant people.
That cartoon was
But guess what, guys? We
horrible.
missed the whole point. It's like the guy made a bad call, and he pushed the situation.
But I think, too, it's like, as a sports fan, as people who've played sports, as people who cover sports, especially when you watch the male athletes, umpires are horrible for the most part. I literally used to be associated with a man who umped Little League games, and he literally thought he was a person of authority. And we're talking about a baseball Little League umpire.
Yeah.
Imagine the U.S. Open chair umpire.
He's been there forever. Like
Yeah.
he's had this role, and like that's the issue. So that's what we say on the show. You know, we try to be fair.
Just fair enough.
I think we're fair. I think, you know, as much as we do stand with Kaepernick and Nike, we do agree that we don't agree with the way Serena did
Ask me, do I think there has been bullshit on Serena?
Of course.
Yes. And
this wasn't one. This wasn't it.
And ask me, is she the baddest tennis player to
She
ever
a
play in a
bad woman.
That a bad woman.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
Good transition there, Mike, because we're about to talk about why I'm right. Said it last week on the show. We got a bad boy in Khalil Mack, but we face the baddest man in the world. With
So where do you want me to start?
I mean, let's be honest. You were right about 99% of it. You were like, he's going to be big. He's going to change the way we do things. He did. Yeah. Our defense looks amazing. We look phenomenal. But I was right with the 1%. We don't have a quarterback that can move the ball. Well, and we faced Aaron Rodgers.
Well, here's my biggest issues, and you could check some of my thoughts out. We just released an episode of Sports from the Couch this past Tuesday afternoon, but real fast, I think my biggest takeaways from the game are this. The Bears win this game if Matt Nagy doesn't get so cute and he runs the ball on 3rd and 1 instead of doing some weird trick plays with the tight end.
You have an amazing running game.
Yeah.
Use it.
So, from that, fine. The next thing, I expect in any sport, both sides of offense and defense get played. So if you get beat by a wide receiver, I'm cool with that. It happens. They get paid too, and you're playing against Aaron Rodgers. What I can't live with is if you just got paid a big contract and you're playing against a team that also try to sign you, and the guy who's literally surgically destroying you on one knee throws the ball on your chest, hits your hands, and you don't catch it. Kyle Fuller had 8 pickoff attempts in 2017 and only came up with 2 of them. This is unbelievable.
And I told you the secondary, no matter how good our front seven is, our secondary is still very questionable.
Now, on your assessment of Mitchell Trubisky, what I saw was a quarterback that has a lot of talent on the run, but his mental and his pocket clock, well, not just decision. We'll get to that in a second. But his clock in his head, the 1, 2, I feel somebody in my ankles, doesn't look right. It doesn't look like he has that center. Right? He looks weird in the pocket.
I don't know what it is.
He looks down. He's always looking at his feet. He's never checking. It's weird. This is only his 13th professional football game.
You look at him, you're like, that kid's got all the talent. But he's so sloppy.
But he looks like. But I will give him this. I think a lot of that is just inexperience. I think the talent's there. I will give him this though. It looks like they're trying. It looks like there is something there in general for that whole team.
Oh no, I'll eat it.
The stock is up.
Guys, guess what? If we had played any other team in the NFL, we probably would have won.
They probably win.
Even if whatever gave a big lead, we probably still would have won.
Yeah.
We played Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Tom Brady would not have done that by 20 points. And opening day, Tom Brady would wait.
And here's the thing.
Aaron Rodgers is that guy against the Bears. Guys, it's just we texted at halftime. I'm on the other one. He's like, I'm like, damn, dude, you're right. I'm like, dude, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And you got to look at the points. He's like, well, he did. Look at all the turnovers. I'm like, but that wasn't Aaron Rodgers technically. Yeah. He may not move the ball, but he wasn't losing the game for them. And that's why he didn't lose the game for them.
There's a lot of things you got to look at it, too. For example, Khalil Mack, obviously a pro's pro, bad man. But,
so good.
But he wasn't at 100% condition.
No.
Because he didn't play all preseason.
No.
Roquan Smith.
He was huffing, man.
Roquan Smith, number 8, I think top 10, at least top 10 draft pick for the Chicago Bears. Middle at linebacker, was out all training camp for a contract, for his rookie contract, comes in, gets injured, and then he plays his game, only plays 8 snaps. Imagine at one point when you have Khalil Mack and Roquan Smith out there. That is going to – the Bears arguably have one of the top front sevens in all of professional football.
You stopped the run. Like I said, if you would played anyone else – you win this game, people, but you just happen to play the greatest quarterback in modern times.
Yeah, and just around the league.
Right,
and I think the Bears are going to beat Seattle this coming up week.
I think the Bears at home are going to beat the Packers.
Yeah, there's a good chance.
I think they will. I think by the time we see them in December, we beat them. I think we beat them good. I think this was game 1 of a brand new team, and like you said, I think the biggest thing to take away is Mike was right about this. One player can, Khalil Mack proved one thing. One player can change a team.
Especially in football.
He can change your mindset. The front seven, you went from being like, oh, they're pretty good to like, that's one of the best front seven I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's a unicorn. He's a unicorn.
He really is. And
he's a unicorn.
You know what? I can't wait I told Mike, I'll take 3 jerseys, 52. I'll take an orange.
Please.
I'll take a white. I'll take a blue. Give me a throwback, actually. I'll take a hat. I'll take a t-shirt. I'll paint 52 on my stomach.
Please, sir. And name my child Mac.
You are the greatest person ever.
Now, it got a little bit crazier, too, not just in Lambeau Field on Sunday night, all over the National Football League, Alex. It was crazy.
I mean, it's week 1, people.
But Ryan Fitzpatrick, it was interesting. Deshaun Jackson with 2 touchdowns is going to be out with a concussion. The Mike Evans effect, where every once in a while he goes off like that. I think New Orleans is still going to be a good team, but that was a hell of a game from the Bucs.
I'm against you. You know what? I'm not a New Orleans person. I don't buy the hype because they've never been able to play defense. And
last year they had a top 10 defense.
They were okay, whatever. They didn't make it. Like at the end of the day, I don't buy the New Orleans hype.
Well, New Orleans should have been
and I called it. I said Tampa Bay was going to win, and they did. But I also said a lot of stupid things. I said San Francisco was winning. It was closer than it was.
Closer. Go ahead and ask
Dallas.
Jimmy G.
Dallas is a mess.
Dallas.
I think here's the problem though, and guess what? I think it's perfect to talk about because the Rams did it so well last night, and it's not. You have Zeke. You ran him 8 times in the first half. Yeah. You got nothing. You ran him 15 in the next half. He got 67 yards of touchdown. People, same thing with Todd Gurley. You need to run these boys.
But it's not. But here's the difference, though. Is Todd Gurley also has Kupp, Cooks. He has he has weapons besides him. If you look at what's going on with Zeke and Dak in Dallas, there's no more Jason Witten. There's no Des Bryant. Your number 1 receiver is who? Alan Hearns?
No, I get that. That's what I'm saying. Like, why are you not running the ball? Like, when it's working.
Because if you're stacking the box, you got to eventually be able to throw over the top.
Hyped up. You have the best running back in the NFL.
I don't disagree.
That's my problem. And again, you need to run the ball.
Yeah,
because guess what? That. You did it the second half. It worked. Had you run the ball 10 more times the first half, you may have their touchdown. You win the game.
How you feeling about the Cubs?
I don't know, man. They're weird. I'm hoping this is one of those moments where they just got cold right now and they're going to save getting hot. I like the team. I think we're a better team than we won the World Series, honestly. Do they win the division? Yes. But a lot closer than I thought I wanted it to. I think for a while there, we're like, oh, we're done. And now we're like, oh, shit. Could we be the number 1 wild card? I mean, we could. Yeah. Realistically, 3 teams might come out of the Central. Yeah. So I'm not worried about not making playoffs, but I think we win, but I think it's going to be closer than we're like, that was a little close, guys. But I also think we play in the best league in the National League. Yes, the best division. That's kind of right. Yeah, we play. Well, I actually think the West is probably the best division nationally. The Rockies, Diamondbacks, and Dodgers. Yeah, I think that's the best division. It doesn't show, but I think that's the best division. I think honestly, American League is just so much better. Yeah, but I've been saying I think it's going to be Cubs Red Sox. I think it's Cubs Astros. Maybe. But I like mine better. But the idea that, and I had this argument with a conversation with friend of the show, Paul Shivari, about this, and to me it just goes down to, if you're any of these other teams, like the Cubs, they're not healthy. They haven't been hitting. Their pitching finally is waking up.
Their bullpen was their strongest point, but now it's been overran. They're playing 30 games and 30 nights. But the big issue,
we had a lot of delays this year, a lot of double headers.
The big issue I have is, or I won't even say it's an issue. This is what I always come down with when it comes to a playoff series. You have to put the mortgage on the line. Who are you putting your money on? And the Cubs, to me, are they're one of two teams in the National League that could play anybody and say they don't scare me, and that's the Cubs and the Dodgers. The Cubs could play any team in the National League and be like, I don't care. The Dodgers could play any team in the National League, like, I don't care, because they've both been there and done it.
Yep.
And the fact is, the American League could be as great as it wants to be. There could be as many killers as there are.
Play the National League,
you only have to play them one time,
and
that in one series. So if you're a National League fan of a team in the National League, don't worry about the American League. And if you're an American League fan, God bless you, because it's going to be a long month.
Well, and you know what? I know with those Sox fans out there, we'll talk about them. We'll mention them today. Well, you lost your best pitcher, guys.
And
sorry.
It sucks.
I told Cisco, our friend of the show, it's like, that sucks.
And here's the thing.
That's your future.
I brought this up on Sports from the Couch. But here's the thing. In 2018, Tommy John surgery is pretty common on pitchers. A lot of times they want the pitcher to get it earlier in their life, like 16, 17, so that way they could because it's one of those things where you actually throw harder afterwards. Yeah. My issue is it's not so much an issue with the injury in the sense of it almost was inevitable with hard throwers. The issue I have with not just White Sox fans, but this delusion that baseball has right now. For every Cubs and Astros teams, there are 100 different teams that have tried to go young, stay manageable, and win. And the truth of the matter is, injuries happen. Not every player hits, and you have to hit on almost everything. You look at the Cubs retrospectively now. If in 2016 I told you Wilson Contreras would have under 15 home runs, I'd be like, you're crazy. Yep. But guess what? He does.
Javi would be 30 and 100.
But then if I told you Javi would be an MVP candidate, you wouldn't believe me.
He's so good. I told you. I told everyone.
But here's but here's the reason. You can never account for everything. You can't account for life. So in this White Sox situation, you can't. If you're a White Sox fan, you can't jump off the bandwagon now in the sense of stop the rebuild. No. Deal with this injury. Keep losing. Keep building, and eventually it'll work out. Guess what? You're going to miss more than you hit. But if you hit enough times, it'll work out for you. And the simple matter of fact is you weren't going to win next year anyway. Yeah. So what you do now is you let Eloy Jimenez play 2 more weeks down in minor league baseball to start the season. And then when that boy comes up, you let him do whatever it takes to be the best player in baseball. I wish he was still a Cub, but guess what? If Jose Quintana helps the Cubs win a World Series in 2018, it was all worth it. So here was the thing. White Sox, stick with it. Michael Kopech sucks that he has Tommy John, but I tell you this. He will be the best pitcher in Chicago, just like Chris Bryant will be the best positional player. So the arguably two best players in their position will be playing in Chicago over the next 5 years, I think.
Let's see. Bulls still suck, and Blackhawks, the paint is gone on the ice. So hockey season is around the corner. It kind of happens fast, so we'll be painting. All right. So that's sports. I know that's a lot. Fantasy people, stick with it. When we get more into the weeks, I think we'll start talking about our teams. I think we're both more like, I don't know what to tell y'all. Like,
we have to.
I don't know. Some people, Ryan Fitzpatrick, 5 touchdowns, people. I don't know what to tell you.
Our Wakanda Forever team, which will be, I guess we can make the official squad of this one. 50-50. We have the best record. We dominated. We had like 150 points. So just so everybody is clear, I'll put it on right now so we can have the official totals. Wakanda's most wanted at 1-0 with 158 points. We have Kirk Cousins, Michael Thomas, Juju Smith-Schuster, Melvin Gordon, Eric Ebram, Marvin Jones Jr., and LaShawn McCoy with Mason Crosby and New England's defense. We have a killer squad on that.
We're pretty good.
Yeah, we have a killer squad.
Moving on to some more sad news. We're going to get to a little music talk. Sad death of Mac Miller, a very our generation guy. He grew up with us, and that's sad.
Talented.
Man. Very talented. He seemed like a great kid. Obviously, people have their demons, and this happens, man. We almost lost Demi Lovato this year to similar things, and it's just it would be wrong if we didn't talk. Like I said, there's a lot of songs. We grew up with him.
Can I go on a soapbox for a second about hypocrisy of we're allowing this 26-year-old prodigy,
My age. He's my age. Yeah.
die of these drugs, but we're gonna give shit and flack to Elon Musk for taking a puff of weed on Joe Rogan's podcast.
He has as many supporters as he does.
Of course, but this idea that we choose to ignore and to spotlight to our convenience.
I mean, Lil Wayne's almost died 7 times from lean people. Like, and we're okay with that because he's fine.
But like, it is unbelievable to me that kids aren't dying off of drinking like they like. Okay, I don't want to sound because I don't know the facts, but let me just put it to you this way: kids and teenagers will always find a way to get their hands on the illegal substance. Some will say the fun stuff, whatever the case may be, however you feel about it. But it seems like today there is just so much more danger and chemical that you can't account for.
It's the medical field. It's like you should get opiates.
Yeah.
Opiate addiction is a serious thing, and we'll talk about it in a different show about opiates and just the effects of all these scenarios, movies and TV and everything.
And really fast when you talk about movies about opioids and drugs, like we've made it glamorous and sexy. Breaking Bad has made crystal meth look like you're a G thing. And to me, if anybody's interested, we've actually done shows about this subject, about addictions and how you can recover on my actual radio show on Outreach Radio Chicago. Check it out in the archives. Season 2 will be dropping. We have some great stuff for you guys there. But Alex brings up a great point. Like, it's real. Like it's a real thing. And I know this one hurt a lot of people from our era. And this is coming off of, so many losses over the last few years from that.
I mean, it's just the way it is. And I mean, really nothing more hit music this as hard. Obviously, Eminem came with a new album.
Yeah.
Old Slim Shady style. But I feel like it's kind of hard to talk about anything else when such a young talent passed away.
Because everything was about...
He just made his new album, and you find out all his old albums are going number 1. You're like, man, it really is one of those, they don't appreciate you till you're dead. And like, we keep glorifying that, and that's why they're growing up thinking that. It's like, that whole stupid quote of burning star, burn bright, burn forever. It's like, no, live, dude.
Live.
Elton John's still, Elton John, he's killing that.
Yeah.
Come on,
and
dude. Like,
he's loving
Paul
life.
McCartney's still alive. Like, he seems like he's doing Steven Tyler. Steven Tyler's alive, people. It's
having
okay.
kids.
Like, come on.
Steve Rich, yeah.
Like, come on, people.
But let me, and for all those, look, Alex calls me an old young guy. For all those who are giving her flag, I don't get the Ariana Grande.
Oh, she tried, man. It's relationship. She tried to help him.
But
she
oh
had
my
to
God,
live her life,
for
man.
you, I'm gonna
People are
hear this.
yeah.
For you fucking losers to go out there and attack her and blame her, get your shit together. And I'm not even a.
No one listens to a show that's like that.
Hopefully,
and if they don't, just stop listening.
Yeah,
now. It's cool. We'll take it. We'll take the hit on that one.
Jesus
I think we're okay.
Christ. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Alex. So sad news.
Yeah, more. We'll leave that for music this week. I think we'll honor Mac Miller. I love college, and let's keep going. Another one of our last topics. Before we get to the yada yada, TV, and a lot's happening in TV. We got sweeps coming up, and obviously. Ozark came out early. I'll give you the early review. It was fantastic. Nice. It really is. Nice. I hate to say it, it's a more real Breaking Bad.
Interesting.
And because you go back and you compare the two, and you're like, Ozark's. You know what the best comparison is? Godfather and Goodfellas.
Okay.
Godfather's gritty and a little more real, and you feel that's like a real camera watching people. And Goodfellas kind of glorifies it. It's kind of fun, and they're in jail and helicopters and drugs, and it's more fun to watch Goodfellas. Yeah. That's Breaking Bad. Because you're like, come on, guys, like, this is DEA.
You want to be Henry more than you want to be Michael.
It's so good they buy it, and it's just good writing. That's why. And Ozark's more like Godfather, where you're like, no, this is more realistically how this works, like the small town aspect, and they taking advantage of the 1%. And it's a great show. If you like Breaking Bad, you'll love Ozark. Bringing to Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Fantastic. It's finally merging. I think they're only going to go 5 seasons, so we're about a season and a half away from being done.
Okay.
And we are getting extremely close to Breaking Bad. Like we see it. We see Breaking Bad. Like, it used to be like we're way back there. We see it. We can't touch it, but I could see Walter White and Jesse almost down the horizon. So that's fun.
And if you notice, Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul
have been showing
up. Have been showing a lot. Have been showing up a lot.
I'm telling
recently.
you, that's how it ends.
Yeah.
I think the Better Call Saul ends with the day they meet the lawyer and they're waiting in the lobby. They're like, "You trust this guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, I see his commercials all the time." That's better. If you need to end Saul like that, I think, you know what, actually, I think a better guess is that, you know how they get the snippets forward?
Yeah.
I think we get Aaron Paul eventually.
Interesting.
Because you got to remember, Jesse, he's alive.
Yeah.
So maybe we get Jesse, and you're like, I cry. I think I'll cry if I see Jesse again. I'm not emotionally ready to see that character again. Obviously, another show, Aaron Paul. I'm going transitionally because he's got BoJack coming up. And that's going to be great. That got named one of Netflix's best shows. One of the first animated shows to win an award of that sort. So, Speaking of that, Rick and Morty won an Emmy.
Yes, their first
Finally
Emmy.
won their Emmy for Pickle Rick.
Yeah.
I'm Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick.
I love that. So the Deuce came back out. Deuce is good.
Mayans.
But that's what I'm getting to is Mayans. Guys, guess what? This isn't the best show out of the shows we just talked about. This isn't going to win no Emmys. But Sons of Anarchy is amazing. And this has a Hispanic culture to it. It's on the border. It's right there on the border. Fantastic. Fantastic. Kurt Sutter, the people he brought into him to help him, Rivera, Emilio, all of them, you get it. Like, you're like, I know that guy. Because we're Hispanic, so we get the Mexican Americans.
Yeah.
And it's great, people. It's 2 episodes in. You can feel the Sons of Anarchy world. But it's just a different gang.
That's cool.
And you do get your cameos. You do get your callbacks. Like, they're not shying away from it. They're not saying... It's like imagine if Marvel actually played nice with TV.
Sure.
Like, they're like, no, this is the same world. Like, guys, California's big. Like, Sons have 10 chapters. Mayans have 10 chapters. Like, we can talk about this one group and never have to mention the other people. But they exist.
But we're going to.
It happened.
Yeah.
You know? And I love it. I think it's great. A lot more new shows will be coming out. I started watching The Handmaid's Tale. I'll get us a review on that.
Okay.
It's a little out there. It's a little intense.
Yeah.
By
the way,
the
main actress.
I get it.
The main actress of Handmaid's Tale is a Cubs fan.
I get why she's won $1 million Emmys too.
Yes.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Another big thing is 2 big things for the African American culture. John Legend becomes the first man to win a Tony, Oscar, Emmy, and Grammys.
Yeah.
So he's the youngest and the first of his color, I believe. Or the first of both, the youngest African-American man of sorts, something like that. Like, it's very big important. He joins a very pristine list of maybe like a very handful of people. And this was the first time that 4 African-American actors won the Big 4 awards. Best Supporting, Best Actor, Actress, and Best Supporting Actress.
He is...
So big time for the Emmys. Very progressive with Sterling K. Brown and... I don't know her real name, but Pusue from Orange is the New Black.
And going back to Alex's point, he is the first black man and one of the youngest people to achieve the coveted EGOT status.
And
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar.
So you go, bro. You go, Arthur.
Yes.
I don't even care if you look like Arthur. You're killing the game, man. You keep it up.
It was funny. I was for Nicole's birthday. I brought up John Legend specifically. I'm like, he is the one musician who, when I take that back. This is what I said, but I'm going to add Bruno Mars to this. They are the only musicians where I listen and watch them perform, and they make it look so easy and natural where you're like, I want to do that.
I hate Bruno Mars.
When John Legend plays Under the Stars, and you're just like,
so
how can there be so much talent
natural
in it? It's unbelievable.
You can't teach that.
For real. It's another one. Yeah.
He was born that naturally talented. So,
yeah.
TV, very fun. Mm-hmm. We'll keep you updated on the new show sweeps, like This Is Us coming back, Grey's Anatomy. We try to be nice to like
the
talk about
CW universe is
Mike,
coming
we're not
back.
talking about CW. I'm not a 13-year-old.
The Arrowverse is back,
Arrow,
baby.
Supernatural. Sadly, most of our people were like, "Wait, you guys aren't going to talk about that?" Mike will talk about it when it's back. Okay, people?
All of it.
He will do all 5 shows.
I cannot wait to see
He's a terrible person.
Allen family all together.
I'm going to watch Oscar movies and Mike's going to watch CW. So that's how we're
run, Barry, run.
All right, so last portion of the show, we call it the yada yada yada. Just anything else kind of going on in the world that we feel like talking about. We want to give you a variety of things. So, there's a lot that goes on in this world. We talked about this topic a couple months ago with Andy Signore of Screen Junkies, because Screen Junkies was so big to us and Honest Trailers is. He's back on Twitter and he's fighting his case. And, we do a perfectly good job on the show not calling anyone innocent or guilty. We're not the judges. We're not the jury. We're not executioner. We state facts. He was let go. He was unfaithful to his wife. He is divorced now. He's on Twitter again, and he's fighting his case, and he is suing the Screen Junkies' mother company, obviously, for firing him. And, I just thought it was important to talk about because one of those updated stories. And obviously, we will let you know what goes on. I'm keeping a close thumb on it.
Yeah.
And kind of get all the facts straight. And a couple of people have come out, but obviously this is one of those court things where we won't know much till it's done. But just a little warning out there that it's kind of a thing again. So don't be surprised if you see it. You know, he's kind of acting like his life is normal, so he's kind of talking about movies and stuff. And
it's a little weird.
And obviously you're looking at I think like whether, and I don't know how to think about that. I think it's some fans are very just go die, and some fans are, hey, we believe you, I stand by you, and honestly, they're both wrong because we don't know. So I think it's very ignorant to go out there and defend or prosecute someone without having any facts.
And I think a little bit more to add on to it is Louis C.K. coming back to doing stand-up comedy. And this is after he had been accused and found out that he was masturbating in front of women. And he just showed up. And my problem with it is at some point, I think unless you're in a certain completely heinous crime, I'm talking completely like heinous,
murder,
Law and Order type of heinous, right? There has to be some form of road to redemption.
There just has to be.
And here's the thing. When it comes to Louis C.K., my biggest problem with him was he came unannounced. He didn't give the audience the chance to, okay, Louis C.K. is going to be here. I don't want to come up. He forced them to watch them. And with the Endless Ignore thing, it's one of those things where it, just like anything in social media, especially with our little nerd community where we all love each other, but we also, just like wrestling and anything else, we love to know just as much behind the scenes than we know
I'm
in front
right,
of,
you're wrong, I'm big, you're small.
Yeah,
Matilda, quote.
Yeah, but like Alex said, sometimes the best thing to do is to allow everything to come out. Not all the time, because sometimes you need to be.
Sometimes you just need to wait until you do some research.
Yeah,
that's all we ask on this show. Our motto is do a little research, but look at both sides and then make an informed opinion.
And you know what, guys? Don't be afraid. Look at maybe it's just because I'm in media, so I'm so used to always having egg on my face. But it's this idea of like I've retweeted and talked about stories that turn out to blow up in my face.
Yeah, Mike's more innocent. I'm very cynical, so you know.
And I've learned that.
I'm like, they adopted $1 million. Let me see.
Yeah.
Nope, 500,000. Yeah. Not as good. I'm that person. And Mike's the person. Oh, look at the puppies. You gotta find the middle and find what's worth.
And we saw one just a little while ago about this kid who said he got punched because he was defending his friends, and we find out it was all a lie from the cops. And it's just
that one broke your heart.
That one
broke your heart.
But like, I made sure to not retweet the story.
There was another bad one about these two couples said they were raising money for
the homeless.
He won in court. He got his money.
He's getting his money.
He got his money. Thank God. But it happens where you gotta just keep pursuing it until you know it's done. Anything you got on for yada yada?
So with that in mind, I want you guys to check out our reviews of Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4.
Special announcement at the end. Yes. We have a games portion, and this one is probably going to be the most scarce at times. Yes. Because big games very job, but this is a special occasion. We're adding it on. Mm-hmm. And possible game of the year. Mike's been playing it. Go on. Spider-Man. The first official video game from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, so we can make that the official yada yada. Check out the review of it. I love it. The references are beautiful. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Search Mercado Airwaves. Big things for all you Spider-Man nerds like us. There's a lot of great lore. There's a lot of great scenery. The costumes are amazing. The story is fast-paced. There's a lot of things to get lost in. The one thing I told Nicole, if you're a true video game nerd and you play a lot of video games throughout the year, there is a lot of checklists. There is a lot of towers. There's a lot of Assassin's Creed / Arkham in this game. But if you're somebody who buys 2, 3, maybe 4 video games a year, this is the baby for you. If you bought God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out in October, and this Spider-Man game, chances are you are good for the year of 2018. And speaking of Red Dead Redemption 2, after we are finished with our playthrough of Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4, we will be gearing up for Red Dead Redemption 2 that comes out in October. I'm super excited about that. Like Alex said, this one's going to be a little bit more scarce as we do the video game stuff. We're going to introduce it to Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties just because of the OBS system and kind of how all the stream works. Yeah, it's the government, it's the FCC. But I'm loving it. Alex was watching a few minutes of the gameplay.
I don't play as many video games. Honestly, I'm more of a fighter game, so when Smash Bros. Comes out, I'll be more hyped. Yeah. But I do love a good story in a game, and I do love popular
Have
things.
you kept up?
So guess what? So no, I'm gonna watch the story. I'm more of a watcher. I watch the movie version, basically, which is only like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's about 3 hours.
So it's good. So it's easy. But from what I've heard, it's possible game of the year. Obviously, that's gonna fight God of War and Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be fun. Like Oscars, I do care about winning and losing and what gets this and what gets this hype. So, and plus it's Spider-Man. That's half our show superheroes, people. Like he's the second coolest superhero according to Mike.
Yeah,
I think he's third or fourth.
No, he's
list.
Yeah, like, and I even bring it up in a freaking part of. I think it's my second stream. I'm like, yeah, to me, like Batman and Spider-Man, like 1 and 1A. It's like they're the same, and it's true to me. Like those characters are so badass. The lore is so badass.
Superman,
I love the story.
Batman, Wonder Woman, then Spider-Man, Cap.
Incorrect. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, but that's it. Check us out, guys. Well, it's really fun. I'm really liking it. We're going to be doing a lot of it. Let us know if there's any video game you want us to play, though. So like we said, we have on the agenda, we got Red Dead Redemption 2. We're finishing up Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4. And Resident Evil 2 remake coming out this January, Alex. The remake is out.
Remake or remastered?
It's a remake. So they completely retooled from the ground up Resident Evil 2. Okay. So it is going to be awesome, and we are streaming all of that. So when that comes out, make sure you're in the dark and let me get really close to your ears.
Like rape vibes. I feel very
sorry, I apologize for that.
And
you know
I don't
what?
know who to go to HR around here.
But yeah, that is my yada yada Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4. A must play. Sorry, Xbox owners. I have an Xbox too, but looks like Lego Spider-Man is the way you're going to have to go.
Hey, Legos are cool.
Yeah. What else we got, Alex? Is that it?
That's about it. I guess we're getting the go home sign from Mowgli.
Yes, it is time to wrap it up.
I think that's good.
WWE Hell in the Cell coming up this weekend. We will be reviewing it on the next episode of The Good Brothers.
We'll probably end up doing it that night, just a whole separate review show, because we'll be watching it together.
Yeah.
So,
If those are wondering why we did not preview you, it is because of this new format. We are trying a couple things, so maybe we'll do a pre-show, maybe we'll do a post-show, but either way, we will be talking about everything that happens.
The hard details.
Hell in the Cell.
And you got to remember, people, WWE, it's
Monday Night Football team, though.
Yeah,
football's in season, so the storyline's not going to be there. Yeah,
but we're kind of on the road to, we finished SummerSlam, so we're on the road to Survivor Series. So
it's a long road.
It's a lot. It's going to be a couple filler pay-per-views. I don't really think anything big. Neither of us have big guests.
Evolution.
We talked about All In. Evolution we'll talk about more.
That's going to be the big one for us.
That's still a month away, so we'll review Hell in the Cell, but I don't feel like we need to go hardcore into a lot of rematches.
You know what?
A lot of rematches.
I guess before we leave, let's just do the main two. I guess the main
three. I
think
the only big thing that happens.
So does the Shield win the championships?
No, I think everyone retains. All right. I think it's chaos. Something stupid.
And does AJ lose to Samoa Joe?
Man, the Australian tour throws everything off.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think anything changes.
Okay.
I think there's a couple of stupid endings. It's not a Hell in the Cell. They got to do Australia. I think Survivor Series is when it changes.
All right, so and Becky and Charlotte are going to steal the show. Thank you guys. Yeah, that's it. I think
Becky wins it at Evolution.
Yeah. But we'll have a complete breakdown of WWE Hell in the Cell and everything that leads into Australia, WWE Evolution, and so much more. And I really hope a shout out to the good brother himself, Alex, who kind of reformatted this show, and hopefully it's easy for you guys to keep up with it. It's more convenient.
We'll be putting time slots, so you know when everything comes. So if you don't like music, you know what? Skip that 5 minutes. You want to only listen to Mike talk about Spider-Man? Skip to the end. We're gonna give you the times when you need to jump in and enjoy it. And honestly, I think you give it a chance. I think there's a little bit for everything. I think this is kind of like looking at a social media page of what's trending.
And I think we are doing a great job here on the network with all the different shows we're doing, including Murder Mysteries and more, Typing When Tipsy, Sports from the Couch, Super Mercado Brothers are...
Can I be typing when wasted, or is that not...
You're always wasted, and you are totally not able to type. The Super Mercado Bros live stream that we're playing all our video games, everything. Thank you guys for supporting us. You can support the good brother himself on all social media platforms. He's on Twitter at Mercado21Alex, and on Instagram, Mercado2121. I'm at Twitter at mmercado2333, and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. The lovely Nicole Mancha is at Typing When Tipsy everywhere in the universe. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/Mercado Airwaves, YouTube, youtube.com/Mike Mercado2333, or look up Mercado Airwaves, and there you'll see all our Spider-Man playthroughs and everything that we are up to here on the network. Download us anywhere you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves, and while you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share it. It really helps out all of us here at Mercado Airwaves. And, of course, a huge thank you to our sponsors, at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. For the good brother himself, Alex Mercado, I'm Mike Mercado. We'll see you on the next episode of The Good Brothers here on the Mercado Airwaves Network.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves.
You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex.
Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.